HD, and I have with me Eric Pratt, the CEO of US Broadcast and also the brains behind Virtual Setworks.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, my pleasure. Actually, this virtual set we're in today, I'm just going to go ahead and zoom out so we can show this off, is actually the work of Eric Pratt in Virtual Setworks. Take a look at this. I mean, it's really interesting. Sometimes people forget. Look at this, reflections on the ground. This is actually where I am. I am sitting in a boardroom with a green screen, but that's not very cool, is it? That's not very fun. It doesn't look very professional. This looks a lot better. So we've got a lot to talk about today. Zoom video conferencing has just introduced green screen virtual set support, so that's really awesome. And I'm going to go over a couple slides here, and then we're going to introduce Eric, and he's going to talk a little bit about kind of how the professionals are using this technology, which I think is really cool. So first of all, last week we donated $20 to the National Forest Association, which planted 10 trees. And our president has allowed us to give $20 to a different charity every week, plus $1 for every new subscriber or like we get during the live show. So if you're out there, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. You're going to be adding $1 extra to our donation to CASA, which is the court-appointed special advocates for children. This week we're going to be giving the donation to the Susquehanna Valley CASA Voices for Children. It helps children in need who need someone who, basically when the courts kind of have to take over and help a child in need, they help them in that way. So feel free to participate in that. We're really happy to do charity every week. So Virtual Setworks, Eric, tell us about this. What is Virtual Setworks?
So Virtual Setworks provides virtual set backgrounds. Anytime that you're doing a chroma key and you're pretending you're somewhere else, like we're doing today, you're doing a virtual set. And the ranges of application for this vary from, as in the extreme end, movie production that's done on a green screen is loosely definable as a virtual set. Very commonly, when you're watching the news these days, they're not on a real set. They're doing it just like they do the weather. So instead of putting the weather behind them, they're putting a virtual news desk just like the one that you're seeing there. Commercials, webcasts, corporate, educational, there's a broad array of applications for virtual sets today. They're also called virtual studios, and sometimes they're a little bit confused with virtual reality studios, which VR is an emerging topic, which does blend a little bit with virtual sets, but typically in most conversations we discuss the displaying of a virtual set on a 2D surface.
Cool. Yeah, and we're going to make the argument today that once you go green, you're not going to want to go back. This is a little picture of me at my desk. I have a stand-up desk and a little green screen that we purchased for about $50 on Amazon. And so most people think about this, are we doing some type of live broadcasting? Yes, we are. But just this week, or I think it was last week, Zoom video conferencing has built in support for virtual backgrounds, making me think that this is something that's going to go mainstream. They have millions and millions of users around the globe. Now they're giving that technology to them without the need for any additional software. So we're going to talk about how, people in sales, people who are in HR, CEOs of companies we've been talking to who are using this technology now just to stand out, just to change things up. And especially if you're anyone out there in sales, spicing up that first introductory meeting, the first impressions are everything. To be able to put the home team, sports team behind you when you're doing that first call is going to make you just stand out just a little bit more. So here's a little picture of, me. We kind of look at this sitting there in our boardroom with a green screen, but really to the world, it looks like I'm in a nice studio.
It is a way of upping your production value. Instead of looking like you're in a crowded boardroom covered on a desk covered with cables, it looks like you're in a professional environment. And it's also great for bringing in elements. You can see that we're bringing in pictures, graphics. These things all go well in a virtual context. Now, virtual sets don't necessarily have to be as complex as the one that you see there. These are primarily what we deal with at Virtual Setworks, but sets can also be as simple as a very simple background or looping animation. So there's there's a wide spectrum of both feature set and budget. If you feel a set like this is too complex looking for your taste, and you're not trying to convey a grand sense like what we have when Paul goes out to the wide shot. We're doing that establishing shot saying, hey, we're somewhere really cool. We have high production values. If you're looking for something a little bit more sedate, those are also options for doing boardroom production.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and I guess I will kind of just move over to one that's a little different here. Here I am in kind of like a classroom style, I got flowers on my desk type of thing, because it really doesn't matter. I mean, we have a lot of different sets we'll show you, and we're going to give away free virtual sets to somebody out there today. And whoever tells the funniest joke about green screens in the chat is going to get the free virtual set pack. So let's talk about that home office application, because you're at your home now, and I think just the fact, you're not even using your green screen, but just the fact that you have a clear background that's not all messed up. Let's do an overlay of just you for a second here. Take a look at that. I mean,
this is my chromat background, but it's currently unlit. It's for doing chroma keying, but I just threw it behind me so that whatever's behind me doesn't distract from your view. You're focused on me.
Yeah, and there's so many people who work from home who are using video conferencing to collaborate with people. And, we don't want to see your cat behind you. We don't want to see things that are going to be distracting. You want to focus. And you do want the power of face-to-face meetings. Because, being over the phone all the time, I mean, especially if you meet with a lot of people, you can't remember everybody. But putting a face to a name has so much power. So that video conferencing collaboration is what I want to focus on here. So really quickly, what I'll do is I'll show, for all of you guys out there who use Zoom video conferencing, I very quickly wanted to show you guys how this works now. So basically, in the Zoom client here, if you guys are used to this, and Eric will talk about a way to do this with any video conferencing software, but just specifically to Zoom, if you enable it in your, you have a pro account and you enable video backgrounds, you can see here that there is a new setting for video backgrounds, and you can actually choose a picture that you want. So you can go ahead and choose any picture you want, and you can see I'm kind of going between San Francisco Bay to the space and all those different things, and then when you launch your video conference call, it's got you in the background there. So just really briefly, so I would expect to see that in Skype. I would expect to see that in GoToMeeting and WebEx. Zoom usually kind of leads the market there, and I expect to see a lot more of this coming soon for sure. So Eric, why don't you tell us, a lot of people use GoToMeeting, some people use WebEx, some people use Skype. From what I understand, vMix is a great way to be able to get these virtual sets into any web conferencing solution.
Yeah, so we're using vMix today in order to do this virtual set composite. vMix is capable of doing some really incredible virtual sets. It has the ability to do those reflections. You saw the camera move earlier. It's what's putting me in the screen here. It's also capable of taking this and streaming it to any destination. But it's also capable of plugging into any program and appearing like a webcam. So I'm taking it that's probably how you're using it today. If you go into Zoom conferencing and you select the camera in there, it'll show up as vMix external, for example, and you would select that, and that's what you would take the output of vMix and whatever production that whatever production that you're doing there, whether it's you're showing slides or videos or yourself on a virtual set, is what's going to plug into Zoom. And the same is true for many different conferencing applications, GoToMeeting, TeamViewer, GoToWebinar, Skype even. So you can plug into any of these programs because the vMix shows up like it's a webcam.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I mean, I could do a quick little desktop capture just to show everyone what vMix looks like, because I think it's a new thing for a lot of people, and it might look a little complicated because I'm really doing a lot of overkill stuff here. But if you can see what I'm talking about here, here's our virtual set. right down here at the top here, and I can